Hello there and welcome to the sleepy universe. Tonight we're drifting gently through our own cosmic neighborhood, the solar system, the quiet family of worlds that circle a single, ordinary star. This is the place we call home. Yet almost all of it is empty, silent, and still. A vast stretch of darkness cradles 8 wandering planets, a scattering of moons, and countless fragments of rock and ice, all held in slow, endless orbit by the patient pull of the sun. Out here, worlds turn without a sound. Storms the size of oceans drift across distant giants for centuries. Rings of ice shimmer in the faint and fading light. And beneath frozen crusts, hidden seas wait in perfect darkness. Nothing here is in a hurry. Everything moves in slow, patient circles, as it has for billions of years. So let your breathing slow, let the day settle quietly behind you, and drift with us now, out among the calm and distant worlds of the solar system. Let us begin at the very center, with the star that holds the whole of our small family together, the sun. It is so familiar that we rarely think to wonder at it. It rises, it warms the afternoon it sets, and we hardly ever pause to consider what an extraordinary thing it truly is. Tonight we will pause. We will let the sun grow large and slow in our thoughts, the way a single candle flame grows large and soft when you let your eyes go unfocused and simply rest on its glow. There is no need to hold on to any number. Simply let the warmth of it settle over you, the way afternoon light settles over a quiet room, and let yourself feel gently how completely you are held within its care. Perhaps you have felt the sun on your skin on some warm, unhurried afternoon, and felt, without quite thinking it in words, how simply and how completely that warmth arrives, asking nothing in return. That is the feeling we will rest in tonight, the plain, steady generosity of a star that has been giving its light away freely, for longer than there has been anyone to receive it. So let your attention drift now toward that warm and steady center, and let it carry a little of your weight away as it goes. At the heart of our solar system sits a single, ordinary, glowing sphere of gas so enormous that more than 1 million Earths could be tucked comfortably inside it, with room still left to spare. We call it simply the sun, and it holds within itself more than 99% of all the mass in our entire solar system combined. Every planet, every moon, every scattered fragment of rock and ice, all of it together would barely register as a rounding error beside this one vast and patient star. It did not have to share its light with us, it simply always has. Everything else in our small corner of the galaxy, the Earth beneath you, the moon above you, the quiet night around you, is, in the truest sense, only a gathering of leftovers, circling gently around one great and generous fire. You might picture the whole of it now as a single warm hearth in an otherwise dark and empty room, with every planet only a small, quiet shape gathered near its glow, grateful simply to be warmed. The sun is not solid, and it has no surface you could ever stand upon. It is a sphere of glowing gas from its very center to its outermost edge, held together in its round and steady shape by nothing but its own immense and patient gravity. What looks from Earth like a smooth golden disk is simply the layer where that gas becomes thin enough for light to finally escape into the dark. A soft, visible skin wrapped around something far deeper and far hotter within. There is nothing to touch and nothing to stand on, only glowing gas all the way down, layer folding gently into layer, all of it held quietly together by gravity's slow and steady hand. It is less like a rock in the sky and more like a great, warm, breathing lantern, burning gently at the center of everything. Let that image rest with you for a moment, no hard edge anywhere to be found, only soft light folding endlessly into softer light, warm all the way through. Deep at the very core of the sun, hidden far beneath all those glowing outer layers, the temperature reaches something close to 15 million degrees, hot enough and dense enough for hydrogen itself to fuse quietly into helium, releasing in that steady and unhurried process the very energy that becomes our daylight. It is a furnace beyond any furnace we could ever build, and yet it burns so calmly, so evenly, that it has kept almost exactly the same brightness for billions of years. There is no explosion in it, no violence, only a slow and constant conversion, deep in the dark heart of the star, of one kind of matter into light. Everything warm that has ever touched your skin began, in some sense, in that quiet and impossibly hot center, far below the surface you can see. You do not need to picture the fire itself, only the calm and steady result of it, arriving now as nothing more than a gentle warmth, patiently delivered. The light that leaves the sun's fiery core does not simply rush outward and escape. It is born deep within, and then it must slowly, patiently, make its way out through layer after layer of dense, glowing gas, bouncing, absorbed and released again and again, taking what may be many thousands of years, by some estimates even longer, just to travel from the center of the sun to its outer edge. Only then, once it finally reaches that outer skin, does it leap free into the emptiness of space and begin its short, final dash toward us. So the sunlight warming your memory of some afternoon may have begun its journey inside the sun long before you were born, patiently working its way outward through the star, in no hurry at all, before ever setting out toward Earth. There is something quietly moving in that thought, that even light, the swiftest thing there is, must first learn patience before it can ever hope to shine on you at all. Once that light finally escapes the surface of the sun, it crosses the emptiness between us at the fastest speed there is, and still it takes a little over 8 minutes to reach your eyes. Which means that every sunset you have ever watched, every warm afternoon you have ever felt, was already 8 minutes old by the time it reached you. A small, gentle reminder that we are never quite seeing the sun exactly as it is this instant, only as it was a few minutes before. If the sun were somehow impossibly to simply switch off, you would go on feeling its warmth and seeing its light for a further 8 peaceful minutes, entirely unaware. There is something soothing in that small delay, proof that even light needs a little time to arrive, gently, wherever it is going. Let your own thoughts arrive just as unhurriedly now, drifting in a little late, a little soft around the edges, exactly the way starlight always does. The sun is, by the careful reckoning of astronomers, a rather ordinary star, a yellow dwarf, middling in size, middling in temperature, one among hundreds of billions of stars very much like it scattered across our galaxy. It is not the largest, nor the brightest, nor in any way rare. And yet its steady, patient, unspectacular warmth has been enough to raise up oceans and forests and every creature that has ever breathed, including you, resting here tonight. There is a gentle lesson folded quietly into that thought. It does not take a rare or dazzling star to become the very center of something precious beyond measure. An ordinary sun, shining faithfully and asking for no attention at all, is enough. Our entire warm and living system was built on nothing grander than that. So let yourself rest tonight in that same quiet ordinariness, needing no rare brilliance of your own, only the plain and steady warmth of simply, faithfully being here. The sun is very old and very patient, about 4.5 billion years old, already more than halfway through the long, steady middle of its life. It has been shining, quietly and evenly, since long before there were oceans on Earth, long before there was an Earth at all in any form you would recognize. And it will go on shining in very much the same steady way for billions of years still to come, far longer than any of us will ever need to imagine. There is no need to hurry any thought about its ending. That lies unimaginably far in the future, so distant it barely deserves a place in tonight's quiet drifting. For now, simply know that the same patient star that lit the first oceans is the very one lighting your own window tonight, and will go on lighting it for a very, very long while yet. Let that long, unhurried future settle over you now like a blanket with no edge to it at all, endless, patient, and entirely undemanding. Around the sun swirls an invisible magnetic field, vast and quietly powerful, reaching out far beyond every planet in a great, sweeping bubble. It rises and falls in a slow, steady rhythm of about 11 years, growing a little more active and then settling again over and over, like a great chest breathing in and out across more than a decade at a time. When that field grows active, faint dark patches called sunspots appear on the sun's glowing surface, cooler than the gas around them, drifting and fading across the weeks. From here, calm and safe on Earth, all of this simply becomes a slow, gentle rhythm, felt only very faintly, if at all, a great unseen breathing, far away, that asks nothing of you and troubles nothing of your rest. Somewhere on the sun's bright face, right now, some small dark patch is quietly drifting, entirely unconcerned with anything happening down here in the calm and steady dark. Far above the sun's visible surface lies its outer atmosphere, the corona, and strangely, wonderfully, it is far hotter even than the glowing surface beneath it, reaching temperatures of 1,000,000 degrees or more, though it is so thin and faint that under ordinary daylight we cannot see it at all. Only during the rare, hushed minutes of a total solar eclipse, when the moon slides perfectly in front of the sun's bright disk, does that pale and delicate crown of light reveal itself, spreading out into soft silvery streamers against a darkened sky. It is one of the gentlest and strangest surprises the sun keeps, a whisper-thin halo, fiercely hot and yet almost invisible, wrapped quietly around our star, waiting patiently for the rare moment when the sky grows dark enough to let it show itself. Think of it as a shy and delicate crown, worn always but only rarely glimpsed, patient, faint, and utterly lovely whenever the light at last allows it. From the sun there streams, constantly and without pause, a soft outward breath of charged particles called the solar wind, flowing outward in every direction, filling the whole of our solar system and carrying the sun's quiet influence far past the last planet and beyond. It moves fast, faster than almost anything we have ever built, and yet by the time it reaches Earth, it arrives as the gentlest of touches, deflected harmlessly around us by our planet's own magnetic field, occasionally painting soft curtains of green and violet light in the skies near the poles. The sun, in other words, is always exhaling, softly and endlessly, breathing its quiet warmth and its quiet wind out across the whole of its family of worlds, and has been, without a single pause, for 4.5 billion years. Let your own breath fall into that same slow rhythm now, out and out again, gentle and continuous, needing nothing at all in return. And so we have sat for a while beside the great warm center of everything, the sun, patient, ordinary, endlessly generous, holding its whole family of worlds gently together with nothing more than its own quiet gravity and its own quiet light. Let that steadiness settle into you now. You do not need to hold on to the numbers or the distances or the years. Let them fall away like warmth soaking slowly into skin. All that need remain is the wide, warm feeling of a star shining quietly nearby, asking nothing, giving everything, exactly as it always has. Breathe slowly now. Let your body grow a little heavier against the bed. And let us drift outward together, toward the small stone worlds that circle closest to that steady light. Let us drift outward now, gently into the warm inner reaches of our solar system, where 4 small, solid worlds circle closest to the Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are the family's rocky children, each one different from the next, each one shaped by the very same warmth in its own particular way. As we move among them, there is no need to hold them apart too carefully, or to remember which is which. Simply let each one drift past like a lit window seen from a slow-moving train at night, noticed, wondered at gently, and then let go as the next one comes into view. There is something soothing in comparing quietly, without judgment, the way you might compare 4 rooms in the same familiar house. This one warmer, that one cooler, this one busy, that one still. None of the 4 needs to be the best or the most remarkable. Each is simply itself, shaped by its own quiet distance from the same patient fire. Let your own thoughts settle into that same unhurried comparing now, soft and slow, as we drift from one small stone world to the next. Closest of all the planets to the Sun is small, quick Mercury, a cratered, rocky little world barely larger than our own moon, racing around its parent star in only 88 days, faster than any other planet in the family. And yet, strangely, its own day is astonishingly long. It turns so slowly on its axis that a single sunrise to the next sunrise there takes longer than its entire year. Mercury has almost no atmosphere at all to hold in warmth or soften temperatures, so its days blaze fiercely hot while its nights plunge to a bitter, airless cold, all within the same slow-turning world. It is a small, quiet, extreme little planet, closest to the fire, and yet, in its own strange way, coldest at heart when the light finally leaves it. Picture it now as a small, patient sentinel standing nearest the flame, holding both the fiercest heat and the deepest cold within the very same slow-turning day. Next outward drifts Venus, nearly a twin to Earth in size, and yet utterly unlike it in every other way. Wrapped in thick, heavy clouds that never part, Venus holds in its warmth so completely that its surface is the hottest of any planet in the whole solar system, hotter even than Mercury, which sits far closer to the Sun. Its thick atmosphere presses down with a weight many dozens of times greater than our own air, dense enough to feel in places, more like standing at the bottom of a deep ocean than beneath any sky. And strangely, gently, Venus turns backward compared to nearly every other planet, spinning the opposite way, so slowly that its day is longer than its year. It is Earth's near twin in size, and its opposite in nearly everything else. Let that quiet contrast rest with you for a moment, 2 worlds cast from almost the very same mold, and yet grown, over billions of patient years, into such gently different fates. Then comes our own Earth, third from the Sun, and so far as we have ever been able to find, in all our looking, the only world of its kind. Neither too hot nor too cold, wrapped in an atmosphere gentle enough to breathe, and carrying across the great majority of its surface oceans of liquid water resting calmly beneath open sky. It sits in precisely the soft, temperate band around the sun, where water can pool instead of boiling away or freezing solid, a narrow and fortunate stretch we sometimes call the habitable zone. There is no need to feel any pressure in that thought tonight, only a quiet gratitude. That of all the worlds circling all the stars we have ever studied, this one small blue and white sphere, spinning gently beneath you even as you rest, happens to be exactly warm enough, and exactly wet enough, and exactly right. Let that quiet rightness hold you now, the way still water holds a reflection, calm and unhurried and entirely undisturbed. Farther out still lies Mars, the red planet, smaller than Earth, and colored that deep rust color by iron slowly rusting quietly across its ancient dusty surface for billions of years. Its day is only gently longer than our own, close enough that a Martian sunrise would feel almost familiar, though its year lasts nearly twice as long as ours, and its thin, cold air could never be breathed. Mars carries, frozen at its poles, caps of ice and frost that grow and shrink gently with its seasons, and etched across its surface are old, dry channels that strongly suggest water once moved there freely, long, long ago. It is a quiet, rust-colored, half-remembered world, cold now and still, but carrying within its dust the soft traces of a wetter and warmer past. Think of it gently as an old letter, its ink faded nearly to nothing, still faithfully holding the shape of a warmer story it once had to tell. If you were to line these four rocky worlds up, side by side in your mind, you would notice how gently their sizes step downward and then back up again, small Mercury, then Venus nearly matching Earth, then Earth itself, then Mars, smaller again, only a little more than half Earth's width. None of them is enormous by the standards of the planets farther out. All four together would still be dwarfed by the giant worlds waiting beyond them. They are the modest, solid, close-in family, small stone spheres, warmed directly and closely by their parent star, each shaped over billions of years by how near or how far it happened to settle. Picture them now, gently, as four quiet stepping stones of rock, laid out in a soft curve around the same steady fire, each one holding its own small place without ever crowding the one beside it. All four of these inner worlds are built from rock and metal rather than gas, with hearts of iron at their centers, and surfaces that have been shaped slowly by volcanoes and impacts, and on Earth alone, so far as we know, by rain and rivers and living things. Mercury's iron core is unusually large for so small a world. Venus and Earth share almost the same rocky recipe, forged from the very same ring of material in the solar system's youth. And Mars, smaller and cooler, cooled its own iron heart long ago until its old volcanoes fell quiet. There is something gently reassuring in the thought that these four worlds, so different in temperature and mood, were all made, in the beginning, from very much the same handful of warm and settling dust. Four different temperaments, grown gently from one shared and humble beginning, much perhaps like four different nights of sleep, each one drawn from the very same quiet need for rest. Only one of the four inner worlds keeps a large moon of its own, and that, of course, is Earth, while Mercury and Venus keep no moons at all, and Mars keeps only two small, oddly shaped fragments, more like captured rubble than proper moons. Our own moon, by contrast, is large and round and steady, and has likely done more to keep Earth calm and livable than almost anything else in our small system, gently stabilizing the tilt of our planet's axis so that our seasons come and go slowly and predictably, rather than swinging wildly from one extreme to another. It is a quiet piece of good fortune, easily overlooked. That of the 4 small rocky worlds, ours happens to be the one that was given, long ago, so steady and generous a companion. Let that quiet good fortune settle over you now, the sense of being accompanied gently and reliably by something that asks for nothing and simply, faithfully stays close. Once in its earliest youth, Venus may have looked far more like Earth than the scorching furnace it has since become, with oceans, perhaps, and a gentler sky, before something went wrong and its atmosphere thickened and thickened again, trapping in ever more of the sun's warmth until any water there simply boiled away into space. It stands now as a quiet, sobering, and yet strangely gentle reminder of how delicately balanced a world's temperature can be, and how much of Earth's comfort depends on staying quietly within its own narrow and fortunate range. There is no need to carry any worry from that thought tonight. It is simply a soft caution, whispered from a neighboring world about how precious a stable, temperate sky really is, and how carefully our own has been kept. Let the thought pass through you softly, like a distant weather report from a world far away, and settle gently into simple gratitude for the calm sky above you now. Mars, for its part, once had a thicker atmosphere and very likely rivers and lakes and perhaps even shallow seas moving gently across its surface. Billions of years ago, before its smaller size let its inner heat fade, its magnetic shield weaken, and its air slowly drift away into space. What remains today is a cold, dry, rust-red world, its old riverbed standing empty and silent under a thin and fragile sky. And yet even now, tucked away at its poles and perhaps hidden below its dusty surface, there is still water, frozen and waiting, patient beyond imagining. Mars has not entirely let go of its old wetter self. It has only tucked it away quietly out of the cold, thin air, keeping its memory of rivers folded safely beneath the frost. Some memories, it seems, do not need to be spoken aloud to be kept. They can simply rest quietly beneath a colder surface, patient and entirely safe. So there they drift, all 4 together, closest to the fire, small quick Mercury, thick-veiled Venus, our own gentle blue Earth, and rust-colored, patient Mars, 4 rocky worlds shaped from the very same warm dust, each carried to its own particular temperament by nothing more than its size and its distance and the slow unfolding of billions of years. None of them is like any of the others, and yet all 4 belong quietly to the same small family, circling the very same patient star. There is a gentle comfort in picturing them together like that, 4 different rooms in the same warm house, each windowed differently onto the same steady light, none of them alone, none of them adrift, all of them held. Let yourself feel gently, like a 5th quiet room in that same warm house tonight, held by the very same steady light, needing nothing more than to rest. We have walked now among the 4 small rocky worlds that circle nearest the sun, each one shaped so differently by so similar a beginning. And perhaps the gentlest thing to carry from them, down towards sleep, is this: that closeness to the same warm source can still produce such different quiet lives, and that none of them needs to be the grandest to be complete. Mercury does not envy Venus, and Mars does not envy Earth. Each simply turns patiently in the place it was given. Let your own body rest just as easily now, in exactly the place it has been given, needing nothing more than the warmth already reaching it. And let us drift on now, out past Earth, to the quiet companion that circles it. Now let us turn our attention closer still, to the pale, patient companion that circles our own Earth, the Moon. It is the nearest other world there is, close enough to watch change its face from night to night, and steady enough that it has been the same quiet presence in the sky for every person who has ever lived. As we drift toward it, let your gaze in your mind's eye rise softly upward, the way it might on some ordinary night when you glance up out of habit and find the moon already waiting there, calm and familiar, exactly where it always is. There is a particular comfort in something so faithfully present. The moon has never once failed to be somewhere in our sky, waxing and waning in the very same gentle rhythm, night after night, across the whole of human history and long before it. Let that faithfulness settle over you now, the way a familiar face settles a worried mind, nothing sudden, nothing surprising, only the same soft, pale, patient companion, keeping its long and quiet watch. Our moon is thought to have been born in violence long, long ago, when a young Earth was struck by a Mars-sized world in the earliest chaos of the solar system's formation. And yet what followed that ancient collision was something gentle. The scattered debris, flung outward into orbit, slowly gathered itself together, over time into the calm, round, quiet moon we know tonight. Whatever fire attended its birth settled, billions of years ago, into the steadiest possible peace. It is a strange comfort, if you let it be one, that even a beginning shaped by collision can settle, given enough patient time, into something as calm and faithful as the pale companion resting quietly above you tonight. Whatever this day may have struck within you, it too can settle, slowly and gently, into something round and calm and whole. Compared to the world it circles, our moon is remarkably large, larger, relative to its planet, than almost any other moon in the solar system compared to the world it orbits. Most planets' moons are tiny specks beside their parent worlds, but ours is a genuine companion, more than a quarter the width of Earth itself, close enough in size that some have called Earth and the moon a double world rather than simply a planet and its satellite. That closeness in size is part of why the moon holds such a steady, gentle influence over us, not a small distant pebble, but a true partner walking alongside Earth through the dark, matched closely enough in scale to make itself deeply, quietly felt. Let yourself feel for a moment, just as closely held by whatever quietly surrounds you now, near enough and steady enough to matter. The moon keeps one face turned toward Earth at all times, and has done so for as long as anyone has watched it, not because it does not spin, but because its spin and its orbit have settled over billions of years into perfect step with one another, turning together in the same unhurried rhythm. We call this being tidally locked, and it means that the moon's far side has never once been seen by any watcher standing on Earth, not in the whole of human history, until only very recently our spacecraft finally drifted around and looked. There is something gently touching in a companion so faithful that it always shows you the very same familiar face, patiently, night after night, keeping its other side turned quietly away, out of nothing more than the slow, settled rhythm of its own turning. There is a quiet loyalty in that image worth keeping close as your own eyes grow heavy, something steady, always turned gently toward you, night after unhurried night. It is the moon, more than anything else, that pulls our ocean tides gently back and forth across the shore, twice with every turning of the Earth. Its quiet gravity reaches all the way down across the empty distance between us and tugs, ever so slightly, at the water covering our planet, raising it into a slow, patient bulge that follows the moon's position as the Earth turns beneath it. The rhythm is so steady and so ancient that entire ways of life along every coastline have arranged themselves around it, generation after generation, without a single missed beat. Somewhere on Earth right now as you rest, some quiet shore is slowly filling with the incoming tide, and some other shore is slowly emptying the whole ocean, breathing in and out in time with the moon's calm and patient pull. Let your own breath find that same slow rise and fall now, gentle and unhurried, an ocean's tide moving quietly within you. The moon sits on average about 384,000 kilometers from Earth, far enough that dozens of Earths set side by side would just about span the gap, and yet close enough in the vast scale of the solar system to feel like a true and constant neighbor rather than a distant stranger. Its light takes a little over 1 second to reach us, so swiftly that we may as well call it instant. When you look up and see it glowing, you are seeing it almost exactly as it is at that very moment, with none of the long delay that colors the light of farther things. It is, of all the worlds beyond our own, the nearest, the quickest to answer, and the easiest simply to look up and find. Of everything we will visit tonight, it is the one companion always close enough to reach with nothing more than a single upward glance. And yet gently, so gently that no single lifetime could ever notice it, the moon is slowly drifting farther away from us, moving outward by only a few centimeters every year, roughly the pace at which a fingernail grows. It has been doing this quietly for billions of years, nudged outward bit by the very same tides it raises on Earth, in a slow and patient exchange between the two worlds. In some unimaginably distant future, the moon will hang a little smaller and a little fainter in our sky than it does tonight. But that future lies so far off, so many hundreds of millions of years away, that it need not trouble a single moment of this quiet evening. Tonight, the moon is exactly where it has always been for you, and it will be there again tomorrow. Let that small, immovable certainty rest with you now, steady as a held hand in the dark. The moon has no true atmosphere to speak of, and so it has no wind, no weather, no soft blue sky of its own, only a black, airless dome overhead even in its brightest daytime, with the sun blazing fiercely alongside stars that never fade from view, even at noon. Without air to hold in warmth or soften temperatures, its days grow searingly hot and its nights plunge to a cold deeper than almost anywhere on Earth, all within the span of a single very long lunar day. It is a stark, silent, airless place, utterly unlike the gentle, breathable world it circles so faithfully. And yet from here, wrapped safely in our own soft blue air, all of that starkness reaches us only as a calm, pale, silvery glow, gentled entirely by distance. Distance, it turns out, is its own quiet kindness, softening even the harshest of places into something soft enough to rest beneath. Because the moon has no wind, no rain, and no shifting plates of rock beneath its surface, the footprints and the marks left there by the first human visitors, all those decades ago, remain almost exactly as they were left, with nothing to disturb or erase them. No breeze to scatter the dust, no rain to wash it smooth. They may go on resting there, undisturbed for millions of years, a small and quiet human trace on a silent, changeless world. There is something oddly comforting in a place so still that even a single footprint can last essentially forever, proof that stillness, given enough of it, can hold on to almost anything gently without the smallest effort, for longer than any of us could ever imagine remaining to check. There is something quietly reassuring in that kind of permanence, a small mark, gently made and kept safe simply by the stillness around it. The full moon does not shine with any light of its own. Every soft silver gleam of it is simply reflected sunlight, bounced gently off its pale gray surface and sent onward to us across the dark. Its surface is, in truth, quite dark and dull up close, no more reflective than old asphalt, and yet against the black of night it appears to blaze with a soft, generous brightness, simply because there is nothing around it to outshine. It is, in its quiet way, a borrowed light, the same warm sunlight that touches your afternoons, reflected gently back to you after nightfall, arriving softened and cooled and calm enough to rest beneath. Even the moon's glow, in the end, comes from the same patient star we began this journey beside. Nothing here shines entirely alone. Even borrowed light, gently passed from one quiet body to another, is still, in its own way, warm and generous. Over the ages, the moon's steady presence has done more than raise our tides. Many who study these things believe it has helped keep the tilt of Earth's own axis gentle and stable, holding it from wandering or wobbling wildly over long stretches of time, and so helping to keep our seasons calm and our climate settled enough for slow, patient life to take root and flourish. Without so steady a companion, our own axis might tip and wander far more chaotically across the ages, and the gentle rhythm of our seasons might never have held so faithfully at all. So when you look up at that pale, familiar face tonight, you might think of it not only as beautiful, but as quietly protective, an old, faithful companion, holding Earth steady, patiently, the whole time you have been alive and long, long before. Let yourself be held just as quietly and just as steadily now, by nothing more than the same patient gravity that has never once let go. Together then, Earth and its moon turn through the dark as a single quiet pair, one world breathing with oceans and living things, the other silent and pale and airless, and yet bound to it so closely, so faithfully, that neither one's story could be told without the other. There is a gentle lesson in such steady companionship, that you do not need to be identical to hold each other well, only close enough and faithful enough and patient enough to keep turning quietly together. Let that same steadiness settle into you now as you rest here, held just as faithfully by everything around you. And let us drift on now, out past our own small pair, toward the wide ring of scattered stone that circles farther out. Let us drift outward now, past Mars, into a wide and quiet region that sounds, at first, as though it should be crowded and dangerous, the Asteroid Belt. There is not. It is, in truth, one of the calmer and emptier stretches of our whole solar system, a broad ring of scattered stone and old rubble, left over from the very beginning of everything, drifting patiently around the sun in the space between the small rocky worlds and the great giants beyond. As we move among it, let go of any picture of tumbling, crashing rocks. Think instead of a slow, wide field of quiet stones, each one keeping, patiently, its own gentle distance from all the others. There is a soft comfort in a place so much emptier than its reputation suggests. We often imagine crowded, dangerous things that, looked at closely and calmly, turn out to be spacious and slow and safe. The asteroid belt is exactly that kind of place, a wide, quiet field of ancient leftovers, tumbling gently through the dark, asking nothing of anyone, disturbing nothing at all. Let your own thoughts settle into that same roomy calm now, as we drift among the old, patient stones. Between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter lies a broad, donut-shaped region called the main asteroid belt, home to millions of rocky fragments large and small, left over from the earliest days of the solar system, when the planets themselves were still forming out of swirling dust and stone. Rather than gathering together into one more planet, this scattered material was stirred and tugged about so persistently by nearby Jupiter's great gravity that it never quite managed to settle into a single world, and so it has remained ever since, a wide and drifting field of unfinished pieces. The raw beginnings of a planet that simply never came to be. There is no grief in that unfinished story. Some things settle quite peacefully into being exactly what they are, without ever needing to become something grander. Despite the crowded, chaotic pictures of the asteroid belt you may have seen in films, the truth is far gentler. The belt is, in reality, mostly empty space, so sparse that a spacecraft can cross clean through it without coming anywhere near a single rock. The many millions of asteroids there are spread across a region so vast that the average distance between any two of them is measured in millions of kilometers, not meters. There is no tumbling crowd of stone waiting to collide with anything that passes through. There is only a wide, calm, mostly empty field, its scattered rocks drifting patiently along their own slow and separate paths, each one utterly alone in an enormous quiet. Let that same roominess settle into your own chest now, wide and calm and entirely unhurried. The very largest object in the whole asteroid belt is Ceres, round enough and large enough that it is classified today not merely as an asteroid, but as a dwarf planet in its own right. A small, icy, rocky world roughly the width of a modest country, holding perhaps a third of the entire belt's total mass within itself alone. It even appears to carry a thin, faint trace of water beneath its dusty crust, quietly hinting at some hidden gentleness within so small a body. Ceres circles the sun once every 4.5 years. Alone and calm at the center of the wide field of smaller stones, it shares its neighborhood with, the largest and roundest resident of a very old and very patient family. Picture it turning there quietly, calm and alone at the center of its own wide and scattered neighborhood, needing no crowd to feel at home. Second in size within the belt is Vesta, a smaller, brighter, more irregularly shaped world of stone, its surface scarred by an enormous ancient impact that carved out a vast crater across much of one hemisphere long ago. Fragments knocked loose from that ancient collision have, over the ages, drifted all the way to Earth as meteorites, meaning that scattered pieces of Vesta itself have been quietly falling out of our night sky and landing gently in fields and deserts for longer than anyone has kept count. There is something tender in that thought, that a small stony world circling patiently out beyond Mars has, in its own slow and scattered way, been sending tiny, silent gifts of itself toward us across the dark for millions of years. Somewhere tonight, perhaps, a small quiet fragment of that same ancient world is settling gently into a field or a desert, entirely unnoticed, exactly as it always has. The asteroids themselves come in every uneven shape imaginable, for nearly all of them are far too small for their own gravity to pull them into a tidy round sphere the way larger worlds manage. Instead, they tumble along their orbits as lumpy, irregular, potato-like fragments of stone and metal, some barely larger than a boulder, others many kilometers across, each one carrying the same rough, unfinished shape it was left with billions of years ago. They are the true leftovers of creation, never smoothed, never rounded, never quite completed, simply drifting on, patiently, exactly as jagged and as honest as they were in the solar system's very first days, asking nothing more than to be left to their own slow and quiet orbits. There is a gentle honesty in never being smoothed over, in simply remaining, patiently, exactly as one began. Some asteroids, surprisingly, are not lone travelers at all, but keep quiet companions of their own, small moons, tinier still, circling gently around them the way our own moon circles Earth, only in miniature. A modest asteroid only a few kilometers wide may carry with it a moonlet barely large enough to see, the two of them turning slowly together through the vast emptiness of the belt, bound by nothing more than their own faint, mutual gravity. It is a small and touching kind of companionship, tucked away among the scattered stones, proof that even the humblest fragments of the solar system need not always drift entirely alone, and that pairing and partnership can be found in the most unassuming corners of the dark. Even out here, in the quietest and least noticed reaches of the solar system, something small has found a steady companion to turn beside. Far ahead of and far behind Jupiter, sharing its very same orbit around the Sun, drift two great gatherings of asteroids called the Trojans, tens of thousands of them, held gently in place at two calm, stable points by the combined and perfectly balanced pull of the Sun and Jupiter together. They do not drift toward Jupiter, and they do not drift away from it. They simply hover patiently in these quiet gravitational pockets, following the giant planet around the Sun forever, always the same careful distance ahead or behind. It is one of the gentlest kinds of balance the solar system offers. A whole cloud of small worlds held perfectly steady, neither pulled in nor cast away, simply resting indefinitely in the calm space that gravity has carved out just for them. Let yourself rest in just such a pocket now, held gently in place, needing no effort at all to stay exactly where you are. Occasionally, though very rarely, the gentle tug of nearby planets nudges an asteroid out of the main belt entirely and sends it drifting inward, into the warmer, busier region where the rocky planets circle. We call these near-Earth asteroids, and we now watch them carefully and patiently, tracking their slow paths years and years in advance, so that we always know, calmly and with great confidence, exactly where each one will be. None of the ones we currently know poses any real threat to Earth in the foreseeable future. They are watched the way a careful shepherd watches a wide and peaceful flock, quietly, methodically, so that nothing need ever come as a sudden surprise. It is patient vigilance, not danger, that best describes our long relationship with these wandering stones. You too may set down any watchfulness now. The shepherd is already watching calmly so that you do not have to. If you were to gather up every single asteroid in the entire main belt, all the millions upon millions of scattered fragments, from tiny pebbles to Great Ceres itself, and pack them all together into one single body, the whole of it would still add up to less mass than our own moon, and only a small fraction of Earth's. For all its wide and generous span across space, the belt is, in truth, a very modest and thinly scattered gathering of leftover material, vast in the room it occupies, but delicate and slight in the substance it actually holds. It is less a crowded rubble field than a wide, quiet gallery, its precious and ancient stones spread thin across an enormous and mostly empty room. Weight, it turns out, is not the same thing as importance. Something can be light and modest and still be worth an entire wide gallery of its own. In their own slow and quiet way, the asteroids are messengers from the very beginning of everything, largely unchanged since the solar system's earliest days, never melted down and remade the way the surfaces of the larger planets have been over and over by volcanoes and weather and time. Studying a single asteroid can be, in a real sense, like reading a page preserved perfectly from the opening chapter of our solar system's whole long story, untouched by everything that came after. They drift on, patient and largely unchanged, carrying that old first chapter quietly within them, circling the sun in their wide and roomy belt, in no hurry at all to have their ancient story disturbed or rewritten. Some stories, it seems, are content simply to be kept, quietly, exactly as they were first written. So the asteroid belt turns out to be nothing like the crowded, tumbling danger it is so often imagined to be. Only a wide, calm, ancient field of leftover stone, spread thin across an enormous quiet distance, each fragment keeping patiently to its own slow path. There is a gentle reassurance folded into that a place can sound vast and busy from a distance, and prove, on closer and calmer looking, to be roomy and old and at peace. Let that same calm settle into your own thoughts now, wherever they have wandered. And let us drift on, past the scattered stones, toward the very largest world in our whole solar system. Now let us drift onward, past the quiet belt of stone, to the largest and grandest of all the planets, Jupiter. It rules the outer solar system the way a great, slow mountain rules a landscape, vast enough that everything nearby seems to arrange itself gently around it. And yet, for all its size, Jupiter is a calm and steady presence in our family of worlds, more a patient guardian than a looming threat, its enormous gravity quietly gathering in wandering comets and stone that might otherwise drift on toward the inner planets. As we approach it, let its vastness feel less like something looming and more like something sheltering, the way a great old tree shelters the ground beneath its widest branches. There is a particular kind of comfort in something so large it could never be threatened by anything nearby, and so it simply stands patiently, holding its ground and quietly holding others safe as well. Jupiter has spent billions of years doing exactly that for the rest of us, catching and absorbing so much of the debris that might otherwise wander inward, towards smaller, gentler worlds like our own. Let that same steady, sheltering feeling settle over you now, as we drift closer to the giant at the edge of the inner solar system. Jupiter is, by a wide margin, the largest planet in our solar system, so enormous that more than 1,000 Earths could fit inside its volume, and so massive that it outweighs every other planet in the entire solar system combined, more than twice over. And yet it is made almost entirely of gas, chiefly hydrogen and helium, with perhaps only a small, dense core of heavier material hidden deep within its swirling heart. It has no solid surface anywhere you could ever stand upon. It is simply a vast, deep, endlessly swirling ocean of gas, growing denser and denser the farther down you travel, until far below anything we could ever see, it may finally turn strange and liquid and metallic in its innermost depths. There is no need to picture that depth too closely. Simply let its vastness rest quietly at the edge of your thoughts, enormous and calm and entirely out of reach. Across Jupiter's broad, banded face swirls the great red spot, an enormous storm larger than the whole of Earth, its deep red-orange clouds turning slowly and steadily in a vast, ancient whirl. It has been watched and recorded by patient observers for well over 300 years, and may well have been swirling long before that, making it very possibly the oldest continuously raging storm we know of anywhere in the solar system. And yet from our great distance, even so vast and violent a storm becomes only a calm, softly colored oval, drifting gently across the planet's banded clouds, a reminder that even the fiercest of storms, seen from far enough away, can settle into something almost peaceful to watch. Whatever storm the day may have stirred in you can settle, too, into something just as soft and quiet, given enough gentle distance. Jupiter turns on its axis faster than any other planet in our solar system, spinning all the way around in under 10 hours despite its enormous size, so quickly that its whole vast bulk bulges slightly outward at its middle, like a great spinning ball of soft dough flattened gently by its own speed. A single day on Jupiter passes in less than half the length of one of our own, meaning that if you could somehow stand upon its swirling clouds, you would watch its sunrise and sunset chase one another far more quickly than anything you have ever known. And yet, from our patient distance here on Earth, all of that tremendous whirling speed reaches us only as a calm, steady, silently turning disk of banded cloud, unhurried and serene. Let your own racing thoughts, if any remain, settle in just the same way now, quick and busy up close, but softened from a little distance into something calm. Jupiter carries with it an enormous family of moons, well over 90 confirmed so far, ranging from tiny drifting fragments barely larger than boulders to 4 true giants, first glimpsed centuries ago through one of history's earliest telescopes: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Together they form a whole miniature solar system of their own, quietly orbiting the giant planet the way the planets themselves orbit the Sun. It is a vast and generous family, still slowly being counted even now. New small moons discovered from time to time drifting faithfully in Jupiter's wide and patient gravitational embrace. Each one a small quiet companion circling the largest world in our entire solar system. Picture that whole gentle multitude now, circling together in the dark, a quiet family gathered faithfully around one enormous, generous center. Jupiter's magnetic field is the most powerful of any planet in our solar system, invisible and enormous, stretching out so far into space that, were it somehow visible to the naked eye from Earth, it would appear several times wider across the sky than even our own moon. Trapped within that vast magnetic embrace are fierce belts of radiation, far stronger than anything surrounding Earth, sweeping around the planet in great invisible rings. All of this fierce, unseen power stays quietly contained near Jupiter itself, far, far across the solar system from us, reaching us only as the gentlest and most distant of curiosities, an enormous, invisible cloak wrapped tightly around a giant planet we will likely never need to visit up close. Let it stay there quietly, holding its own fierce power far away from you, asking nothing of your rest tonight. Jupiter, too, has rings of its own, though they are so faint, so thin, and so dark that no one even noticed them until spacecraft flew close enough to look carefully. Nothing at all like the bright, dazzling rings of Saturn, but a delicate, dusty veil, made largely of fine particles kicked gently up from the surfaces of its smaller inner moons. They drift so faintly around the giant planet that even powerful telescopes on Earth struggle to make them out at all. It is a quiet reminder that grandeur does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes the most enormous of worlds wears the softest and most easily overlooked of decorations, faint rings of dust circling patiently, almost unnoticed in the dark. There is a quiet dignity in that kind of modesty, beauty enough to circle a giant, and yet content to go almost entirely unseen. Long ago, astronomers came to understand that Jupiter's enormous gravity has, again and again across billions of years, quietly gathered in comets and wandering stone that might otherwise have drifted on toward the warmer, more crowded inner solar system, where Earth and its neighbors circle. In this gentle sense, Jupiter has long been thought of as a kind of guardian, its vast gravity absorbing and redirecting many wandering visitors before they could ever reach us. The way a great tree standing at the edge of a garden catches the worst of a passing wind before it reaches the smaller, gentler plants sheltered behind it. We may owe more of our own quiet safety to that huge and patient planet than we ever fully realize. Let yourself feel gently that same quiet gratitude now for a shelter so vast and so distant that you have never once had to notice it working. Beneath Jupiter's outer clouds, the crushing pressure grows so extreme that scientists believe hydrogen itself, ordinarily the lightest and gentlest of gases, is squeezed into a strange, dense, metallic form deep within the planet's interior. A vast, dark, electrically conductive ocean, thought to be the very source of Jupiter's powerful magnetic field. No human eye has ever seen it, and none ever will directly. It lies far too deep, beneath far too much crushing weight, ever to be reached. And yet we picture it patiently, calmly, from the careful clues gathered at a great and comfortable distance. A strange metallic sea, hidden deep inside a giant planet, quietly generating the very magnetism that wraps protectively around the whole enormous world. Some of the gentlest protection, it seems, is generated in the deepest and most hidden of places, far below anything that could ever be seen. Jupiter's banded, colorful clouds are shaped by ferocious winds, some of the fastest recorded anywhere in the solar system, tearing along at hundreds of kilometers an hour and dividing the planet's face into alternating stripes of pale and darker cloud, each stripe flowing steadily in its own direction. Seen from Earth through even a modest telescope, these bands appear as calm, orderly lines circling a softly glowing disk, a picture of perfect order, even though, up close, tremendous winds are driving that order relentlessly onward. It is a gentle paradox worth holding as you drift, that something driven by such fierce and constant motion can appear, from a careful distance, so calm, so orderly, and so entirely at rest. Let that same paradox hold you gently now, whatever moved quickly through your own day settling, from here, into calm and orderly stillness. For all its overwhelming size, Jupiter asks nothing at all of Earth, tucked away as we are, far closer to the Sun, in our own quieter and calmer corner of the solar system. It simply turns patiently on its own vast and ancient orbit, taking nearly 12 of our years to complete a single lap around the Sun, its enormous gravity quietly shepherding its many moons and its faint rings and its far-off Trojan asteroids, all without ever once reaching toward us. It is enough simply to know that it is there, a vast, calm, generous giant standing guard in its own slow and patient way at the outer edge of our small, warm, rocky neighborhood, asking for nothing and quietly giving a great deal of shelter in return. Let that same quiet, undemanding generosity settle over you now, as freely given and as easily received as the shelter of your own bed tonight. We have circled now the largest and grandest of all the planets, its endless storms, its great family of moons, its vast and quiet guardianship of everything smaller drifting nearby. And perhaps the gentlest thing to take from Jupiter down towards sleep is this, that true strength need not be loud or threatening or close. It can simply stand, vast and calm, far off in the dark, quietly sheltering everything around it without ever needing to be thanked. Let that same quiet strength surround you now, quietly, wherever you are lying. And let us drift on, past the giant guardian, to the ringed and gentle world beyond it. Now let us drift on, farther still, to the most delicately beautiful of all the planets, Saturn, wrapped in its wide, pale, glittering rings. Of everything in our solar system, it is perhaps the single sight that most reliably draws a soft gasp from anyone who sees it clearly for the first time, through even the humblest of telescopes, a small golden globe, wrapped gently in what looks, at first glance, like a thin and perfect halo of light. Let yourself picture it now, floating quietly in the dark, its rings catching what little sunlight reaches so far out, and glowing softly, patiently, the way a spider's web catches morning light and holds it, for a moment, in delicate silver threads. There is something wonderfully calming in a beauty this large that asks nothing of anyone. Saturn's rings do not perform, or announce themselves, or hurry to be admired. They have simply circled quietly for a very long time, whether or not anyone happened to be watching. Let your own thoughts settle into that same quiet, unhurried beauty now, as we drift closer to the most delicately adorned of all the planets. Saturn's rings, which look from a distance like a single smooth and solid band of light, are in truth made up of countless individual particles of ice and rock, ranging from grains no larger than dust to great, drifting chunks the size of a house, each one following its own separate, patient orbit around the planet. There is no solid disk there at all, only an endless, gentle swarm of icy fragments, all circling together in such perfect, close harmony that from far away they blur into what appears to be one smooth and continuous ring. It is something like a great, slow, silent dance of countless small dancers, each one keeping faithfully to its own place, together creating an image of perfect, seamless unity. Let your own scattered thoughts join that same slow dance now, each one small and separate, and yet somehow together, entirely at peace. For all their dazzling width, spanning hundreds of thousands of kilometers from edge to edge, Saturn's rings are astonishingly thin, in most places only about as thick, relative to their width, as a sheet of paper laid flat upon a football field. If you could somehow shrink the rings down to the size of a single sheet of paper, you would find yourself barely able to make out any thickness to them at all, so delicate is their proportion. They are a vast, wide, glittering flatness, spread thin across an enormous distance, more like a great silver mist stretched taut across the dark than any thick or solid structure. Delicacy, it turns out, can span hundreds of thousands of kilometers and still remain, at heart, impossibly fine. Let yourself grow just as light and just as thin now, spreading softly outward until there is nothing left in you but a wide, quiet ease. Running through the rings is a wide, dark gap called the Cassini division, named for the careful astronomer who first noticed it centuries ago through his own patient watching. A quiet space where Saturn's larger moon Mimas gently tugs, again and again, at any icy fragment that tries to settle there, clearing the area over long ages almost entirely. It is not empty by accident, but by a slow, steady, gravitational housekeeping, repeated so many times across so many years that the gap has remained clear and calm ever since. Even amid the crowded swirl of countless icy particles, there is a quiet, orderly emptiness, patiently maintained, running like a dark ribbon through the shining rings. Even the busiest of places, it seems, can keep one calm and empty lane, gently cleared and faithfully kept open. Despite their brilliant, icy shine, Saturn's rings are, on average, less dense than water, so sparse, in fact, that if you could somehow gather up all the material in the entire ring system and press it together into a single solid body, it might measure only a little wider than one of Saturn's own smaller moons. They appear from a distance as a broad and solid gleam of light, and yet they are, in truth, an exceedingly thin and generous scattering of countless small icy pieces, spread wide and loose across a vast expanse of space. It is a gentle reminder that brightness and apparent solidity do not always mean substance. Sometimes the most radiant things are also, quietly, the lightest and most delicately scattered. Let your own weight feel just as light now, as though whatever heaviness the day left behind had thinned quietly into a soft and scattered glow. Saturn itself, the planet at the center of all that glittering light, is so much less dense than Earth that, were there some ocean vast enough to hold it, the whole enormous planet would actually float upon the water's surface rather than sink. It is made almost entirely of light gases, hydrogen and helium, gathered into an enormous, softly banded globe nearly 10 times the width of Earth, and yet weighing, for all that size, remarkably little. There is something gently amusing and oddly comforting in picturing so grand a planet bobbing quietly on some impossible sea, a reminder that even the largest and most magnificent things are not always the heaviest, and that gentleness of substance can accompany even the widest and most dazzling of forms. Picture yourself, too, resting as lightly as that great golden planet, vast in your own tiredness perhaps, and yet somehow entirely buoyant, held easily afloat. Among Saturn's many moons, well over 140 now known and counted, the largest by far is Titan, bigger even than the planet Mercury, and wrapped in a thick, hazy, orange atmosphere unlike that of any other moon in the solar system. Beneath its clouds lie wide, calm lakes and rivers, not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane, pooling gently across its cold, dim surface in a strange and distant echo of Earth's own quiet lakes and rivers. It is a hidden, hazy, orange world tucked far out in Saturn's shadow, its own slow weather cycle turning gently through methane rain and misty rivers, calm and patient and utterly unlike anywhere else we have ever found. Let your own thoughts drift gently into that same hazy orange calm, soft, slow, and quietly unlike anywhere you have been all day. High above Saturn's North Pole spins an extraordinary and strangely geometric storm, a persistent, six-sided jet stream, its straight edges meeting at sharp corners in a pattern that has puzzled and delighted careful observers ever since it was first clearly seen. It has held that same remarkable hexagonal shape for decades of patient watching, wide enough that several Earths could be set comfortably inside it, turning slowly and steadily around the planet's pole like some vast, quiet, six-cornered whirlpool. There is something almost dreamlike in so orderly a shape emerging naturally from the swirling chaos of a planet's atmosphere, a gentle, geometric calm, holding steady at the very top of a giant and windy world. Let that same steady shape settle over your own mind now, quiet, orderly, and holding its calm form no matter how the day may have swirled around you. Saturn is tilted on its axis by a gentle angle, not unlike Earth's own tilt, and so it experiences slow, wide seasons of its own, each one lasting more than 7 years, as it makes its long, patient journey once around the Sun every 29 years or so. As the planet tilts first one way and then the other along that long orbit, its wide rings appear from our distant vantage on Earth to open out into a broad and dazzling display, and then slowly close, edge on, until for a little while they seem to vanish almost entirely from view. It is a slow, generous, decades-long performance, unfolding gently across whole human lifetimes, the rings opening and closing like some vast and unhurried eye. Let your own eyes close now in just that same slow and unhurried way, with all the patience of a performance that never once needs to be rushed. No one is entirely certain how Saturn's rings first came to be, though careful study suggests they may be relatively young, in the grand span of the solar system's history, perhaps formed when an icy moon or wandering comet drifted too close and was gently torn apart by Saturn's gravity, its shattered pieces settling gradually into the wide, flat, glittering band we see circling the planet today. It is a strange thought to hold gently, that so much beauty might have arisen from something broken, and that the graceful, glittering rings we admire may be, in their own quiet way, the settled and softened remains of some far older world's quiet undoing, transformed patiently, over time, into something luminous. Whatever felt broken in your own day may, given the same gentle patience, come to settle into something quietly luminous too. Saturn spins swiftly on its axis, completing a full day in only about 10.5 hours despite its enormous size, so quickly that, much like Jupiter, its whole vast bulk bulges gently outward at its middle. And yet, from our great and comfortable distance here on Earth, none of that speed ever reaches us as anything but a slow, serene, golden glow, ringed in delicate silver, drifting calmly across the night sky. It is perhaps the loveliest example in the whole solar system of how something vast and fast and complicated up close can settle, across the enormous gentling distance of space, into something as peaceful and as beautiful as a single soft light hanging quietly above a sleeping world. Let that same soft light hang quietly above you now, as you settle at last into your own well-earned stillness. We have drifted now among Saturn's rings, that vast, thin, glittering halo of countless small and patient pieces, circling together in perfect, quiet harmony. And perhaps the gentlest thing to carry from them down towards sleep is this: that something breathtaking need not be solid or heavy or grand in substance to be lasting and lovely. Sometimes the most delicate scattering of small things, gathered together in patient order, is enough to catch the light for billions of years. Let your own thoughts scatter just as gently now, each one small, each one weightless, circling softly before settling, at last, into rest. And let us drift onward, past the rings, into the cold blue distances beyond. Let us drift farther out now, much farther into the cold, quiet, blue-tinted edge of the planetary family, to Uranus and Neptune, the ice giants. Out here the sunlight has grown thin and faint, weaker by far than it is at home, and the whole neighborhood takes on a slower, colder, deeper calm. These are the loneliest of the true planets, circling so far from the sun that their years last longer than a human lifetime, wrapped in pale, cool blue-green clouds that have earned them their gentle name. As we drift toward them, let the very coldness of that distance feel soothing rather than harsh, the deep, still cold of a quiet winter night, rather than anything sharp or unkind. There is a particular restfulness in distance itself, in things so far removed from any hurry that even a single year seems to stretch on calmly for decades. Out here at the edge of the planets, everything slows and cools, and settles into an even deeper patience than anywhere we have visited so far tonight. Let your own body settle into that same deep, slow patience now, as we drift out toward the farthest and coldest of the true planets. Uranus is a pale, cool, blue-green giant, more than 4 times the width of Earth, wrapped in a deep atmosphere of hydrogen and helium tinted softly by a trace of methane, which absorbs the red light of the sun and reflects back only that gentle, watery blue-green hue. It orbits so far from the sun that sunlight there is only a small fraction as strong as it is here at home, casting the whole planet in a dim, cool, twilight kind of light even at its own noon. It is a quiet, pale, distant world, circling patiently in the cold outer reaches of our solar system, its soft color the gentlest possible clue to the strange, chilly gases that make it up. Let that pale blue-green settle over your closed eyes now, cool and soft, like the last quiet light of a winter evening. Strangely and quite unlike every other planet in our solar system, Uranus lies almost entirely on its side, tilted over by an angle so extreme that it seems, from certain points along its orbit, to be rolling around the sun rather than spinning upright the way Earth and the others do. Many who study such things believe some enormous, ancient collision, long, long ago, knocked the young planet over onto its side and left it there, tipped at that strange and gentle angle ever since. It is an unusual, almost whimsical picture to hold as you drift towards sleep. A great, pale, distant world, quietly rolling along its lonely path, tipped over sideways and entirely at peace with the strange angle life happened to leave it in. There is a gentle freedom in that. You need not sit upright either tonight. Whatever angle you have settled into is exactly the right one. Because of that great sideways tilt, Uranus experiences some of the strangest and longest seasons of any planet in our solar system. Each pole spends a slow stretch of about 21 years tilted fully toward the sun in a single long, pale day, and then, just as slowly, 21 years tilted away in an equally long night. A single season there lasts longer than childhood. A single year in total takes 84 of our own to complete. There is something soothing in imagining a world where day and night unfold so unhurriedly, each one stretching out over decades rather than hours, an entire planet keeping its own vast, slow, patient rhythm, entirely unbothered by how differently we measure our own much shorter days. Let your own night stretch out just as unhurriedly now, with nowhere it needs to arrive by, and nothing at all asking it to end. Uranus keeps a faint system of rings of its own, dark and narrow, quite unlike Saturn's broad and dazzling display. So faint, in fact, that they went entirely unnoticed until astronomers, watching the planet pass in front of a distant star, saw that star's light flicker and dim in a curious pattern, revealing the presence of thin, dark rings circling quietly, unseen in the planet's own cold shadow. It is a gentle example of how patient watching can reveal even the most modest and reticent of features. Rings so understated, so quietly hidden, that it took a chance alignment of starlight and years of careful attention simply to notice they were there at all. Some of the quietest things, it seems, need only a patient watcher to finally be seen. Uranus carries a modest family of moons, named, unlike almost every other moon in the solar system, not after figures from ancient myth, but after characters drawn from English literature, gentle names borrowed from old poems and plays, drifting now around a cold and distant planet. Among them, small icy Miranda shows some of the strangest and most jumbled terrain of any moon we have ever studied, its surface a patchwork of odd, mismatched features, as though it had once been broken apart and then slowly, gently, gathered itself back together. It is a strange and lovely little world, its scars long since settled into quiet permanence, circling patiently around its sideways, tilted planet in the cold outer dark. Whatever old cracks or scars the day may have left in you may, in the same slow and gentle way, simply settle back together. Farther out still, at the very edge of the true planets, circles Neptune, deep blue and beautiful, the most distant of them all, so far from the sun that its light and warmth arrive there terribly faint and thin, and a single year takes very nearly 165 of our own to complete. Not once in all the time since it was identified has Neptune completed a single full orbit that anyone now living has witnessed from beginning to end. It circles on, slowly and faithfully, through the coldest and darkest reaches of our solar system, its deep, rich blue color glowing softly and calmly, utterly unhurried, at the very outer edge of everything we still call gently home. Even out at the very edge of belonging, there is still, quietly, a place kept warm for returning to. Neptune holds a particular claim among all the planets. It carries the fastest winds ever recorded anywhere in the solar system, tearing across its deep blue clouds at speeds far greater than any storm on Earth has ever reached. And yet, from our vast and comfortable distance, All of that ferocious wind arrives to us only as the gentlest, calmest, most soothing blue glow imaginable. A small, steady, sapphire point of light in even the most powerful of telescopes. It is, perhaps, the clearest example yet of how distance can transform even the fiercest of things into something perfectly calm to behold. The wildest winds in the whole solar system, softened entirely into a single quiet, blue, motionless seeming point of light. Let whatever wind still moves within your own thoughts settle, in just the same way, into a single small and steady point of calm. Neptune was found in a way quite unlike any other planet, not by patient watching of the sky alone, but by careful mathematics, worked out on paper long before any telescope confirmed it was there. Astronomers noticed that the planet Uranus was being tugged, ever so slightly, off its expected path by some unseen gravity, and calculated, with remarkable precision, exactly where an unknown planet must be hiding in order to cause it. When telescopes were finally turned to that precise patch of sky, Neptune was waiting there, almost exactly where the numbers had predicted. It is a gentle and remarkable thought, an entire planet found first not by eye, but by quiet calculation and patient trust in the steady logic of gravity. There is a quiet comfort in a universe patient and orderly enough to be found this way, simply trusted into being found, exactly where the numbers said it would be. Neptune's largest moon, Triton, is a strange and lonely wanderer, for unlike almost every other large moon in the solar system, it circles its planet backward, moving in the opposite direction to Neptune's own spin, strong evidence that Triton was not born alongside its planet at all, but was instead a wandering, icy world, captured long ago by Neptune's gravity and drawn into a quiet, permanent orbit ever since. Triton is bitterly cold, one of the coldest surfaces we have ever measured anywhere, and yet, remarkably, faint geysers of icy material occasionally erupt gently from its frozen crust. It is a captured stranger, still circling faithfully in its own strange backward way, around the planet that quietly took it in. Even a wandering stranger, it seems, can be gathered in gently and given a long, faithful home to circle. So at the very outer edge of the true planets drift these two calm, pale, distant giants, Uranus tipped gently on its side, Neptune deep and blue and windswept, each one circling so far from the sun that warmth there is only the faintest memory of what we feel at home. And yet neither one is a place of dread or cold hostility. Both simply turn patiently in their own long and unhurried seasons, keeping their quiet, distant watch at the far reaches of our solar system. There is a calm in imagining them now, drifting on in their slow blue silence, needing nothing, disturbing nothing, simply continuing, exactly as they have for billions of patient years. Let your own breathing continue in that same untroubled way now, needing nothing, disturbing nothing, simply going on. We have drifted now to the coldest and most distant of all the true planets, pale, sideways Uranus and deep, windswept Neptune, circling so far out that sunlight itself grows thin and faint before it reaches them. And perhaps the gentlest thing to carry from that great cold distance is this, that even the coldest, farthest, quietest corners of a family are still, faithfully, part of it, still held, still turning, still cared for by the very same patient gravity that holds everything else. Let that same quiet inclusion settle over you now, wherever your own thoughts have drifted. And let us turn back inward, gently, to visit some of the strangest and most wonderful moons in the whole solar system. Now let us drift among some of the strangest and most tender small worlds in our whole solar system, not planets at all, but moons, circling quietly around the giants we have already visited, each one hiding its own soft and private wonder. Some of them, astonishingly, may hold hidden oceans beneath their icy crusts. Others send up gentle plumes of ice into the dark, or carry lakes and rivers unlike anything else we know. As we drift among them, let yourself imagine each one as a small, private room within the solar system's much larger house, quiet, tucked away, and holding its own soft secret patiently in the cold and the dark. There is something deeply soothing in the idea of hidden warmth, oceans kept secret beneath miles of ice, kept liquid and gentle by some quiet inner heat, entirely unseen from the outside. Let that same idea settle over you now. That warmth and softness can be held safely within, protected by a calm and steady shell, entirely invisible to anyone looking only at the surface. And so, gently, let us drift toward these small and hidden worlds. Europa, one of Jupiter's 4 great moons, is wrapped in a smooth, cracked shell of ice. And beneath that shell, most who study it now believe, lies a vast, dark, liquid ocean, kept warm and unfrozen by the quiet flexing and squeezing of Jupiter's enormous gravity as Europa circles it. That hidden ocean may hold more liquid water, in fact, than all of Earth's oceans put together, sealed away beneath a shell of ice many kilometers thick, entirely hidden from the light of the distant sun. It is one of the gentlest and most tantalizing mysteries in the whole solar system, an entire hidden sea, dark and calm and vast, sealed quietly away beneath a smooth and silent icy roof. Let yourself picture some small warmth of your own, tucked just as safely away tonight, sealed gently beneath a calm and quiet surface. Around Saturn circles Enceladus, a small, brilliant white moon, so highly reflective that its icy surface bounces back nearly all the sunlight that reaches it, making it one of the brightest objects in the entire solar system. From cracks near its south pole, gentle plumes of ice and water vapor jet quietly out into space, rising from a hidden ocean beneath its frozen crust and drifting outward to help form one of Saturn's own faint outer rings. A passing spacecraft once flew directly through one of these icy plumes and tasted, gently, the faint chemistry of an ocean we may never see with our own eyes. A small, cold moon, quietly exhaling its inner sea out into the dark. Let your own breath exhale in that same slow, generous way now, gently releasing whatever warmth it no longer needs to hold. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, is the only moon in the entire solar system to hold a thick, substantial atmosphere of its own, hazy and orange, dense enough to support real weather, clouds, rain, and slow rivers, though made not of water but of liquid methane and ethane, pooling into wide, calm lakes across its cold surface. In many ways, Titan is the closest thing we know to a distant, chilled echo of early Earth, its whole surface shaped gently by a cycle of evaporation and rainfall, just conducted at temperatures far colder than anything we could survive. It is a strange, hazy, orange-tinted world, its rivers and lakes running quietly under a dim and distant sun. Let your own thoughts pool just as calmly now, gathering softly into some quiet low place and resting there unhurried until morning. Io, another of Jupiter's 4 great moons, is the most volcanically active body known anywhere in the solar system. Its surface constantly resurfaced by more than 400 active volcanoes, spewing sulfurous plumes high above its yellow, orange, and red mottled ground. All of that fierce inner heat comes not from any furnace of its own, but from the relentless, gentle squeezing of Jupiter's enormous gravity, flexing Io's interior over and over as it circles, and warming it patiently from within. It is a small, restless, brightly colored moon, its whole surface remade again and again by the quiet, tireless tug of the giant world it circles. Proof that even a small moon can be kept vividly, endlessly alive by another's steady gravitational care. There is something tender in being kept alive and warm and remade, simply by the patient care of something larger holding on nearby. Neptune's moon Triton, that strange backward-circling captive we met among the ice giants, carries its own quiet wonder too. Faint, cold geysers erupting gently from beneath its frozen nitrogen surface, sending dark plumes of icy material drifting upward before settling back down across its pale, frigid ground. It is one of the coldest surfaces we have ever measured in the whole solar system, and yet even there, deep in that profound and bitter chill, some faint inner warmth still stirs, quietly, patiently, sending its slow plumes upward into the thin, dark sky. Even in the coldest of places, it seems, something gentle can still be found softly moving beneath the surface. Whatever coldness the day may have left in you, some small warmth is very likely still stirring quietly beneath it, patient and unseen. Ganymede, the largest moon in the entire solar system, larger even than the planet Mercury, circles Jupiter carrying a secret unmatched by any other moon we know. A magnetic field entirely its own, generated deep within its interior, wrapping the moon in an invisible protective embrace much like the one that shelters Earth. Beneath its icy, cratered crust, it too is thought to hold a hidden layer of liquid water, sandwiched quietly between layers of ice. It is a grand and gentle moon, larger than a planet, carrying its own quiet magnetism and its own hidden sea, circling faithfully around Jupiter in the vast, calm dark. Even the largest of quiet companions, it seems, can still carry a hidden sea within, faithfully protected and faithfully kept. Saturn's moon Iapetus wears one of the strangest faces in the solar system. One hemisphere dark as coal, the other bright as fresh snow, so sharply divided that early observers, glimpsing only one side at a time, wondered for a while whether they were watching two entirely different moons. The dark material is thought to be a thin dusting, drawn in slowly from elsewhere in Saturn's system and settling gently, over ages, across just one half of the moon's ancient, icy surface. It circles on patiently, wearing its two contrasting faces without complaint, a gentle reminder that even the same small world can hold both darkness and brightness at once, quietly, side by side. You too may hold both the day's darker moments and its brighter ones together tonight, without needing to choose between them. Our own moon, familiar as it is, belongs on this list of wonders too, for it remains the largest moon, relative to its planet, of any in the solar system apart from Pluto's own companion, a true and steady partner rather than a small captured stranger. Its quiet, patient presence has shaped Earth's tides and steadied Earth's axis, and lit countless human nights with its soft, borrowed glow, all while asking for nothing at all in return. Among all the strange and wonderful moons we have visited tonight, it remains, perhaps, the gentlest and most faithful of them all, close enough to touch with our own eyes every single night, circling quietly, exactly where it has always been. Let its quiet familiarity settle over you one last time tonight, closer and gentler than any of the strange and distant wonders we have visited. Many of these small, icy, wondrous moons are believed to hold their hidden oceans warm and liquid not because of any sunlight, which reaches them only faintly if at all, but because of tidal heating, the same slow, patient flexing and squeezing caused by their giant planet's gravity that keeps Io's volcanoes burning and Europa's ocean unfrozen. It is warmth generated not from without, but from within, kept alive by nothing more than a steady, rhythmic gravitational embrace, repeated over and over across billions of years. There is something tender in that image, warmth kept alive quietly, patiently, by nothing more than a steady and repeated embrace, hidden away where no sunlight could ever reach to help. Let yourself be warmed too tonight, not by any light at all, but simply by the steady, repeated embrace of your own soft and heavy blanket. Taken all together, these moons of wonder suggest something gentle and remarkable about our solar system. That the most extraordinary and hopeful places may not be the great planets themselves, blazing or swirling in plain sight, but the small, quiet, overlooked companions circling faithfully around them, hiding oceans or ice or warmth or strange volcanic life beneath modest and unassuming surfaces. It is worth remembering, as you drift toward your own rest tonight, that the deepest wonders are not always the loudest or the largest. Sometimes they are tucked away quietly, patiently, inside something small enough to be easily overlooked, waiting only for someone patient enough to look closely. Let that same patient looking turn gently inward now, finding, quietly, your own small and easily overlooked wonders, resting exactly where they always have. We have drifted now among the strangest and gentlest of the solar system's small worlds. Hidden oceans, icy plumes, orange hazy lakes, and quiet volcanic fires, each one tucked away inside a modest moon easily overlooked at first glance. And perhaps that is the softest thought to carry from them tonight. That wonder so often hides in the small and the quiet, waiting patiently to be noticed rather than announcing itself loudly. Let your own quiet wonders rest gently within you now, tucked away and warm, needing no announcement of their own. And let us drift on, out past even these moons, toward the farthest and coldest edge of everything we call our own. Now let us drift out to the very edge of our solar system, far beyond even Neptune, into a realm so distant and so dim that sunlight there is little more than a faint memory, and where countless small icy bodies drift in a vast, slow, silent patience, the Kuiper Belt, and farther still, the great and shadowy Oort cloud. From out here come the comets, those long-tailed travelers that occasionally swing back in toward the warmth of the sun, before retreating once more into the cold and the dark. As we drift outward, let the vastness of this final region feel less like an ending and more like a soft, wide threshold, the edge of home, quiet and dim, but still gently home. There is a peculiar comfort in edges, in knowing exactly how far a familiar place extends before the wider unknown begins. Out here at the solar system's own softest edge, that comfort is offered gently, in the form of countless small icy wanderers, drifting patiently in the calm and the cold, marking, however faintly, the outer boundary of everything the sun still gently holds. Let us drift toward that boundary now, slowly, and without the smallest hurry. Beyond the orbit of Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast, dim, donut-shaped region filled with countless small icy worlds, leftover fragments from the solar system's earliest formation, drifting patiently in the deep cold far from the sun's warmth. It is, in a sense, a colder, icier cousin of the inner asteroid belt, only far larger, and far more thinly populated across its enormous span. Within it drift small dwarf planets and countless smaller icy bodies, some barely explored, some entirely unknown, circling on in the deep, dim quiet at the very edge of the sun's gentle reach, patient beyond any measure we could easily imagine. Let your own thoughts drift out to meet that quiet edge now, wide and dim and utterly unhurried. Among the many small worlds of the Kuiper Belt drifts Pluto, once counted among the family of planets and now classified, gently and without any diminishment of its own quiet wonder, as a dwarf planet, a small, icy, heart-marked world, its thin atmosphere freezing and thawing gently with its long, slow seasons. It carries a surprisingly large companion moon of its own, Charon, so close in size to Pluto itself that the two seem almost to circle each other as a pair, rather than one simply orbiting the other. Pluto continues its long, patient, 25-decade orbit around the Sun exactly as it always has, entirely unbothered by whatever name we happen to give it. There is a quiet lesson in that small, patient indifference. You need not be defined by any label either, only by your own steady and faithful turning. Comets themselves are often described, gently, as dirty snowballs, loose, icy bundles of frozen water, dust, and ancient rock, drifting for most of their long lives in the cold, dim outer reaches of the solar system, far from any warmth at all. Only when a comet's long, looping orbit finally carries it back in toward the Sun does it begin to change. Its icy surface starts gently to warm and vaporize, releasing dust and gas that stream outward into a soft, glowing tail, always pointing quietly away from the Sun, no matter which direction the comet itself happens to be traveling. It is a slow, patient traveler, mostly silent and cold, briefly and beautifully alight only when it draws near enough to feel the Sun's gentle warmth. Let yourself, too, simply be quiet and cold and unremarkable for now, needing no glow at all to be worth your own long, patient journey. A comet's glowing tail can stretch for millions of kilometers across the sky, and yet it is made of material so thin and so delicate that if you gathered the entire tail together and pressed it down, it would likely amount to less substance than a single modest suitcase might hold. It is beauty built almost entirely of emptiness, a vast, glowing, gossamer streamer, stretched impossibly wide and impossibly thin, catching sunlight and reflecting it gently back across the dark. There is something worth carrying from that thought, that some of the loveliest and most striking sights in the whole sky are made from almost nothing at all, only a delicate scattering of dust and gas, patiently lit by a distant and generous sun. Let your own tiredness feel just as weightless now, a soft and glowing trail, easily carried and asking nothing more of you. Perhaps the most famous of all comets is Halley's, which swings back in toward the Sun roughly once every 76 years, faithfully returning again and again across the whole span of a human lifetime, watched and recorded by careful observers for well over 2,000 years of human history. Grandparents have shown it to their grandchildren, generation after patient generation, each pair watching the very same icy traveler complete one more of its long, slow loops through the dark. It is a quiet, faithful visitor, appearing only rarely in any single life, and yet utterly reliable across the centuries. A gentle reminder that some things return, patiently and predictably, exactly when we have learned over long ages to expect them. Let sleep, too, be trusted to return to you now, faithfully, exactly as it always has, whenever you are ready to let it. Far, far beyond even the Kuiper Belt, at a distance so vast it barely fits comfortably into the mind, lies the Oort cloud, a vast, dim, spherical shell of icy bodies, thought to surround the entire solar system on every side, reaching out perhaps halfway to the very nearest other star. It has never once been seen directly. We know of it only through careful, patient inference, watching the long, slow paths of certain rare comets that seem to arrive from every possible direction, rather than from any single flattened band. It is the quietest, most distant, and most thinly populated region of our whole solar system, a vast, invisible protective shell, wrapped gently around everything we have visited tonight. Let that same invisible shell wrap gently around you now, unseen and unfelt, and yet entirely and quietly protective. Some comets drifting in from the depths of that vast Oort cloud take extraordinarily long journeys back toward the sun, orbits so enormous that a single loop may last many thousands or even millions of years, meaning that a comet glimpsed once in recorded human history may not be seen again by anyone for longer than our entire civilization has yet existed. It arrives from an almost unimaginable distance, glows softly and briefly near the sun, and then retreats once more into that vast, dim, patient dark, not to return for ages beyond any counting. There is something deeply calming in so long and so patient a journey, proof that some travelers can wait, contentedly, for spans of time the mind can barely begin to hold. Let your own waiting tonight be just as content, patient, unhurried, and entirely unafraid of how long true rest may take to arrive. 2 small spacecraft launched many decades ago have now traveled farther than anything else we have ever built, passing beyond the outer planets, beyond the Kuiper Belt, and crossing at last into the thin and quiet boundary where the sun's own influence finally fades into the wider dark between the stars. They carry with them a small golden record, etched gently with sounds and images of Earth, drifting on now in near total silence, farther from home than any human voice could ever reach. It is a small and tender thought to hold as you drift towards sleep. 2 quiet, faithful travelers, sent out long ago, still moving gently onward, carrying a small golden greeting from home into the vast and patient dark. Let that small golden greeting rest quietly with you now, too, a reminder that even the farthest journeys still carry something warm from home. A smaller spacecraft sent to visit the Kuiper Belt directly once drifted past a small, distant, icy world shaped curiously like 2 gently joined spheres, stuck together long ago in some soft and ancient collision, and drifting on ever since, entirely undisturbed in the deep cold far beyond Neptune. It is one of the most distant objects any human-made craft has ever visited closely, a small, strange, snowman-shaped wanderer, tumbling gently through the dark at the very edge of everything we have mapped. There is a quiet wonder in even reaching so far, in sending a small, patient traveler of our own all the way out to greet, briefly, one of the solar system's most distant and least visited residents. Even the loneliest and least visited corners, it seems, are still, eventually, worth a gentle and patient hello. So at the very edge of everything, far beyond the warm inner worlds, far beyond even the great ringed and blue-tinted giants, drifts this last, vast, dim and patient boundary, the Kuiper Belt, and the far grander Oort cloud beyond it, holding gently the outermost reaches of the sun's quiet influence. It is not a wall and not an ending, but a soft and gradual fading, the sun's warmth and gravity thinning gently out into the wider dark of the galaxy beyond. Everything within that vast, soft boundary, every planet, every moon, every scattered stone and drifting comet we have visited tonight, belongs, quietly, to the very same patient family, gathered gently around the very same steady star. Let yourself feel gathered too tonight, held safely within that same vast and softly fading boundary, exactly where you belong. We have drifted now all the way out to the farthest and quietest edge of our solar system, the icy leftovers of the Kuiper Belt, the vast unseen shell of the Oort cloud, and the slow, faithful comets that carry news between the cold outer dark and the warm inner worlds. And perhaps the gentlest thing to carry from so great a distance is this, that even the very edge of home is still, quietly home, still held, still gathered, still gently within reach of the same patient warmth that reaches you now. Let that same reach settle over you, wherever you are lying. And let us turn back one last time to see how all of this came softly to be. And now we come gently to the last of our 100 wonders, to the quiet story of how all of this, the sun and its whole wide family of worlds, first came softly into being, and to the vast, invisible bubble that has sheltered it patiently ever since. By now, perhaps your eyes have already closed. Perhaps you have drifted off somewhere among the rings and the moons, and these words are only a soft murmur at the edge of sleep. That is exactly as it should be. There is nothing left to do now but let go of the day, of your thoughts, of your very hold on waking. As we speak softly of beginnings and of the wide, gentle shield that surrounds our whole small family even now, let it all grow calm and close, and let yourself sink at last all the way down into rest. Long before there was a sun or a single planet, there was only a vast, cold, quiet cloud of gas and dust, drifting slowly through this corner of the galaxy. One of countless such clouds, unremarkable in every way, until something, perhaps the gentle shockwave of some far-off dying star, gave it the smallest nudge inward. Slowly, patiently, over hundreds of thousands of years, that nudge became a gathering, and the gathering became a collapse. Gravity drawing the cloud's scattered material inward and inward, closer and closer together, until at its very center something began, very quietly, to grow warm. Everything you have heard about tonight, every planet, every moon, every ring of ice and stone, began as nothing more than a whisper of gas, slowly and patiently drawing itself together in the cold and the dark. As that ancient cloud collapsed inward, it began quite naturally to spin slowly at first, and then faster, the way a skater spins more quickly when they draw their arms in close, spinning tighter and tighter until it flattened itself gently into a wide and swirling disk, with a small, dense, warming clump gathering at the very center. That central clump became our sun, drawing in the overwhelming majority of all the matter in the whole collapsing cloud, so much so that even today it holds more than 99% of everything in our entire solar system within itself. Everything else, every planet, every moon, every asteroid and comet we have visited tonight, formed from the last, faint, leftover whisper of material still circling in the flattened disk around it. Within that wide, swirling disk of gas and dust, tiny grains gently bumped and touched and stuck together, one against another, slowly building up over long ages, from specks of dust into pebbles, and from pebbles into small stony clumps, and from those clumps eventually into modest, growing worlds. It was an unhurried process, gentle and cumulative, each small collision adding only a little, patiently, again and again, across millions of years, until what had begun as fine, scattered dust had gathered itself into whole planets. There was no single dramatic moment of creation, only a long, quiet accumulation, small things joining small things, over and over, until, at last, quite naturally, they became something large enough to be called a world. Nearer to the young sun's growing warmth, only rock and metal could survive the heat without melting or boiling away, and so the inner disk gathered itself into the small, solid, rocky worlds we visited earlier tonight: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Farther out past an invisible boundary sometimes called the snow line, where the young sun's warmth had already faded to a gentle chill, ices of water and ammonia and methane could survive as solid material, and so the outer disk gathered itself into far larger worlds, wrapped in thick shells of gas. The giants we drifted among earlier: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Simple warmth and simple distance, in the end, quietly decided which kind of world would grow where. Not every scrap of that ancient swirling disk found its way into a full and finished planet. Some of it, tugged and stirred too persistently by nearby Jupiter's growing gravity, never managed to gather itself together at all, and remained instead as the scattered stone of the asteroid belt. Other icy leftovers, far out past Neptune, never drew close enough together to form more than small, patient dwarf worlds, and remain to this day, drifting quietly in the Kuiper belt and the vast Oort cloud beyond it. Almost everything we have visited tonight, in other words, is simply leftover material from that same first swirling disk. Some of it gathered into planets, some of it still drifting, unfinished and patient, exactly as it has been for 4.5 billion years. Those earliest years were, in truth, far more chaotic than the calm and orderly family we know today. Young worlds still forming, colliding, and rearranging themselves, flinging debris this way and that across the young solar system, in a long and gradual settling that took many hundreds of millions of years to calm. It was during this restless, formative youth that our own moon is thought to have been born, flung outward from a great collision, and that the young planets absorbed countless smaller impacts, slowly smoothing their paths into the calm, steady, nearly circular orbits we now quietly rely upon. All of that old turbulence has long since settled, over billions of patient years, into the steady, orderly, gentle family we rest beneath tonight. Wrapped around this entire quiet family, every planet, every moon, every ring, every wandering comet we have visited, is a vast, invisible, sheltering bubble called the heliosphere, blown outward continuously by the sun's own steady breath of solar wind, and stretching far, far beyond even the outer edge of the planets, past even the Kuiper belt, into the space beyond. It is the outermost boundary of the sun's own quiet influence, a great and gentle shield holding back much of the harsher radiation drifting through the wider galaxy beyond. Everything we have drifted among tonight rests, patiently and safely, inside that vast and unseen protective bubble, held gently within the sun's own far-reaching and generous embrace. At the very edge of that great bubble lies the heliopause, the quiet boundary where the outward-flowing breath of the sun finally grows too thin and too faint to push back any farther against the vast, dim material drifting between the stars. Only 2 small spacecraft, launched many decades ago, have ever traveled far enough to cross that quiet threshold, sending back the faint, patient signal that they had at last passed beyond the sun's own sheltering breath and into the wider dark between the stars. It took each of them more than 3.5 decades of steady traveling simply to reach that soft, distant edge, a reminder of just how vast and how generously our small system's own protective bubble truly reaches. And even this whole vast family, the sun, the planets, the rings, the moons, the comets, the great sheltering bubble around all of it, is itself only a single small traveler, carried gently along its own slow, patient orbit around the distant, turning center of our galaxy, taking some 230 million years to complete just one single lap. Everything we have visited tonight is moving together, as one small, coherent, gently gathered family, through the vast and quiet dark of the wider Milky Way, never once losing a single member along the way, never scattering, simply traveling on together, exactly as it has for 4.5 billion patient years, and exactly as it will for billions more. So here it rests, one ordinary, generous star and its small, gathered family of rocky worlds, and gas giants, and icy moons, and drifting comets, and the great, soft, invisible bubble that holds it all gently together as it sails on through the wider dark. There is nothing left to do tonight. There is nowhere left to be, and nothing left to solve, and no distance left to cross. The planets will hold their long and faithful orbits through the dark. The rings will keep their slow and glittering turning. The quiet moons will keep their hidden oceans warm and patient beneath the ice. And you may let go of all of it now, every thought, every task, every last small weight of the day, and let your breathing slow, and let your body grow heavy and warm, and let your eyes close and drift down, gently and without any effort at all, into sleep, safe within the same quiet bubble that has sheltered this whole small family since before the Earth was born. The sun will keep you. It has always kept you. Sleep now. Good night. The sun keeps shining quietly, whether we watch it or not. There is nothing more you need to hear, and nothing more you need to do. If you are still awake, even a little, let these last few words be the softest of all, spoken not to keep you here, but only to walk you gently to the doorway of sleep, and to leave you there, safe and warm and held. The planets will keep their slow and steady orbits through the night. The sun will keep its patient, generous warmth, exactly as it has for 4.5 billion years, exactly as it will for billions more. And you have your own small, warm place within it all, nothing you must earn, nothing you must hold on to, simply your place, given freely, beneath the same gentle light that warms every quiet world in our small family. So rest now as deeply as you like. Let the last of the words dissolve into the music, and the music dissolve into the quiet, and the quiet carry you the rest of the way down. And whenever you wish to wander among the planets again, they will be here, patient and turning and unhurried, waiting quietly in the dark for you to return. There is nothing left to do now. Nothing to think about. Nothing to solve and nothing to remember, and nowhere at all to be. Let your body stay exactly as heavy as it is, sinking just a little deeper with each slow breath out. With every breath, a little heavier. With every breath, a little further down. There is no bottom to reach and no effort to make, only the soft, slow settling, like a small moon sinking gently into the shadow of a much larger and gentler world. Let go of the day now completely. Whatever it held, the things that went well, the things that did not, the words you said and the words you didn't, let all of it grow quiet and small and far away, like a single lit window seen from a great distance at night. None of it needs you now. None of it is asking anything of you. You may set it all down and leave it in the dark and simply rest. And if there is any last small thread of thought still turning somewhere in your mind, you do not need to cut it or chase it or push it away. Just let it loosen on its own, the way everything loosens here, the way a comet's tail loosens and drifts, the way a ring's icy fragments loosen and settle, the way the sun's own outward breath loosens at last into the wider dark between the stars. Everything in the end lets go gently. And so now, softly, may you. Let your breathing carry you the rest of the way. In and out. In and slowly out. Each breath a little slower. Each one a little deeper. Down and gently down. The sun is keeping watch. The whole small family of worlds is turning quietly on, exactly as it should. There is nothing you need to guard and nothing you need to keep. You are safe. You are warm. You are held. And you may let yourself go all the way now into sleep. Sleep now. You are held. Good night. And sleep well.